Well, culture defines us. It is our very identity. We bring a piece of culture to wherever we go from where we grew up. Today, we will be talking to Celine, who is late Chitresh Das's wife, who carried culture all the way from India and spread it all over the world. The world of Kathak dance will not be there as it is today without the contribution of our very own Pandit Chitresh Das. Let's talk to Celine and find out what it was to live with a living legend like him. Well, as I was telling you, culture is our identity, and I believe that we came from India and brought our culture to save the culture of America. I know a lot of people talk about technology, but the contribution of Indian culture in American soil is not much talked about. Today we have Celine with us, who was married to late Pandit Chitresh Das Ji. I'm so proud to have you here with me today. We've been meaning to talk to you for such a long time now. Welcome to Happy Hour.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Celine, tell us first about your life pre-Pandit Ji, post-Pandit Ji. How are you coping?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, I have to say, thankfully. I'm a San Francisco girl, and I grew up studying many forms of dance, primarily ballet, so Western classical dance. And so that was my life, and I was studying at San Francisco State University, where Pandit Ji established the first university-accredited course on Kathak in the United States.
A lot of us didn't know about that until I spoke to him. The first Kathak university was set up by Pandit Ji.
That's right.
Here in San Francisco.
That's right, at San Francisco State University. So I took that class and I fell in love with Kathak, and over time we formed a bond, and not long after that we married. But our relationship was, I wouldn't say our visions were identical, but they overlapped. I really believed in the power of dance. And what an artist. I mean, you saw him, but not just an incredible artist, a visionary and a guru. And so he single-handedly, in many respects, with initially the support of the great Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Shah, established Kathak in this country. And I mean, clearly I'm not Indian, but my life was changed and my world so incredibly enriched by what he gave, not just to me, but to thousands, if not millions.
Well, I met Pandit Ji for a very brief moment, right? And that moment, I'm still holding on to that energy that I felt when I met him. I spoke to him. It almost felt like, he drew me towards him. Now, for you, you were living with him. Like, what it was like to live with a legend who's constantly thinking about his art. Was he like sleepwalking in his dance or something like that? I mean, I would imagine that he was absorbed in music all the time.
He was. There were times when he was just watching news and it was not related to Kathak, but I will say that I heard him reciting in the showers. The microwave became a tanpura to him, and he would hum different songs when the microwave was humming. So really, he turned everything that he experienced into an expression of Kathak. In fact, he created a chakar, a style of chakar he called California chakar, inspired by the ice skaters.
Oh.
So he really was never, I would say, westernized, in the sense that he always just drew deeper and deeper into the tradition to make it more accessible to different people.
Right. Now, tell me about your new project. I mean, it is something very unique. Tell us more about it.
Yes, so Invoking the River is a creation of Pandit Ji's disciple, Charlotte Moraga. And we really believe, as an arts organization with a platform, that we need to use the platform for good. So we have a program we called Art for the Planet. And in that, we create works that have a greater purpose. So this is a Kathak presentation, and it's a collaboration with Utsav Lal, who is known as the raga pianist. So he plays Indian classical raga on the piano, which is not easy to do. And he's an absolutely beautiful artist. So this is a collaboration with Charlotte Moraga and Utsav Lal. And these dancers were trained both by Pandit Ji and Charlotte Moraga. Each of them takes stories of different rivers in India and kind of personify them. And it's just so captivating the way they tell these stories. They pull you in to this different world and really bring you on a journey.
Well, Kathak is very intense and very immersive, right?
Absolutely.
Now, tell me how you inspire the little kids to stay in touch, and what do you do so that they don't fall off?
That's a great question because, you know, I have two daughters and everywhere you see it's ballet, Western art, Western music. And so it's a challenge to make sure that the next generation not only connects to Indian culture, but gets excited by it. That's a key factor. And the way that Panditji taught and the way that he taught all of his teachers that teach in our Chitresh Das Institute is to have fun with the kids, but also challenge them. So it's this incredible mix that brings them in. And once they see how exciting, how rich, how captivating this art form is, they get hooked. And so we have a school of almost 200 students just in the Bay Area. And we have so many young children that are learning from beginning through the professional level. So all the dancers that you see on stage started with Panditji's school and have continued through the professional level. We're very, very proud of them.
No, I've seen some of them. I'm myself inspired about how the little kids do the chakras and they practice so much. They take time out of their homework schedule and other classes, and they still stay connected. Now, it is a lot of cultural infusion, right?
Yes.
We've got so much culture embedded into these dance forms. What does culture really mean to you?
To me, it means a sense of connection, a sense of belonging, a sense of community. I grew up, like I said earlier, studying dance, but I knew nothing about Kathak. When we learn these different art forms, it opens our minds. It makes us realize how connected we are to one another. So culture, besides going to work, going home, doing school, what is it that bonds us? What is it that gives us a bigger picture to life? It's culture. It's the arts. And so while sometimes people may think it's a side thing, actually, if we really saw how much the arts inspire us and play a role in our lives, we'd realize we can't live without the arts.
Right. I remember Panditji telling me that when he wanted to really bring Kathak worldwide, his mother told him that first go to the United States, and that's where you can, establish yourself far better than you would do in India. And he married none other than you, an American. So now we know that an American tells us Kathak is great. Now we all think it's great because an American has told us, and she's not even from our culture. We can have the bias, but when an outsider says that this is really deep and really connecting, and it pleases you, it centers you, it is a lot of discipline involved. Tell me more about your mission. What is Celine's mission? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I mean, my mission really is connected to what he brought, because he saw dance and Kathak dance specifically as a vehicle of self-discovery. So you asked me earlier, how do these kids connect? What they see is they're not just learning dance, they're learning to find out about themselves. We live in a world that's so connected to the external. If you're looking at a screen, you're watching television, what have you. What about what's within? So the way that he taught, you go on this journey and you see with Kathak how beautiful it is. So really, I believe so strongly in advocating for Kathak and many diverse art forms. So I was served on the board of Dance USA, which is the national service organization for the arts. So that's one way in which I've done advocacy, and there's other ways as well. So it's really continuing his legacy as well as advocating for a diverse recognition of all art forms.
Well, when I see someone dance Kathak, I want to be that person. I keep praying that next life I should be a Kathak dancer, okay? Is there an age where you need to pick up this form of dance?
So I'm so glad you asked that, because there is no age limit. Pandit Ji danced right up until his 70s. Obviously, if you want to be a professional dancer, it's good to start as a child because the body gets trained. It's an intense technique. But we have students of all ages, so I would look forward to having you in our class, and anyone
Well, I don't have
who
to
would
wait
like
for
to.
my next life.
No, you don't.
I keep praying that, God, make me a dancer, because I want to do those beautiful chakras, and I feel it talks about freedom of soul, freedom of mind. When you can do something like that,
Right.
you don't care about anything else.
Right.
I mean, you are just within. I mean, that's so powerful, I feel. But
is.
unfortunately, I can't do that, but I feel the power of the dancer when they do that.
Right.
I feel that Indian classical, Indian Kathak, this form of dance is so vibrant, so unique.
It is.
And
So rich.
I wish you are able to take this form of art to many more people.
Thank
through
you.
your mission, through your hard work. And you've continued to do that even though Pandit Ji is not in this world. He's watching from somewhere and blessing you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I hope that you can join us in San Francisco and in San Jose, maybe a little closer.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Thank
Celine.
you so
It was a
much.
pleasure talking to you. And I can't thank late Pandit Ji enough for bringing this culture piece from India all the way to San Francisco, and we are cherishing that now.
Absolutely. And thank you. You are such an advocate and supporter of the arts, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Viewers, if you like our meaningful conversation and our new content, please follow us on Women Now TV.